Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. Today, we're getting into how do you actually sing when you don't feel confident as a singer and in your voice. Okay. I've already recorded this, but I had to re record it because it's just one of those days. Okay. The recording did not work out. So we're doing it again. I'm here again. So hopefully, yes, it's better this time. However, I have talked about this before, this topic of how to sing when you don't feel confident, but I want to really break it down for you even more in this episode so that you know exactly what the framework is, exactly what the steps are. This is the framework that I take my students through. I teach one-on-one lessons and I even in my course, this is the exact framework that the Sing Confidently course takes you through. I'm currently reworking it, so you can always purchase it, but you're gonna just be able to see every update that I do. So I'm updating it currently, but this is the process. This is how it goes because this is like the progress. Has been the progress of the show. When I first started the show, it was called Creatively by Estelle. I was in medical school. I didn't want to be doing medicine, but I just was there and I was there for the wrong reasons. And I had this desire to be creative. I just longed to be creative. I longed to do something in the arts, to do something creative. And I wanted to live creatively. I wanted to live a creative life. And that's where Creatively by Estelle was born. That was the name of the podcast. I've since changed it a couple times, but my brand is still Creatively by Estelle. My website is Creatively by Estelle. The studio that I now own online is Creatively Performing Arts. So that creative spark is the start of everything. And so I now know, because I know you more and I know myself more, that singing is really the primary way that I want to create, that I want to live a creative life. Is I want to be a singer. I am a singer. And I'm not saying that now because it's so like everything is perfect now, but I have been through this journey where I wasn't able to even say like couple years ago or 5 years ago, certainly not when I started the show, that I am a singer. I wouldn't have been able to have the confidence to just say that. And I don't have the confidence in my voice now that I did five like 5 years ago or a couple years ago. The confidence that I have in my voice now is way more than it was a few years ago when I first started the podcast, way more than it was last year, even more than it was last month. Why? Why do I feel more confident in my voice month to month, year to year? Because of these steps that I'm about to lay out for you, because of this process that I've gone through myself. And not only in the sense of like vocally and my vocal ability, but also mentally when it comes to the ability to say, I am a creative, I am a singer. I sing every day because I sing in my voice practice, because I sing and I share it online, I share it in person, I share it with my students, and I'm helping them sing too. I'm a singer and I'm a facilitator of singers, and I help other people start to sing and use their creative gifts. And so that is what I'm passionate about. And that is what this show is about. And that is why this framework is so important, because we have this ability to sing and we need to build that confidence in it so that we can continue to share our voice. We can continue to say, I am a singer. I am a singer, a songwriter. I'm a singing teacher, and I am an artist. I'm a performer. I'm an actor. I'm a multifaceted creative, right? And I know you guys more. Like one of you guys reached out to me in my DMs this week, and it was so encouraging. And I want you guys to know that if you want to like listen, if you want to make someone's day, if it's a Monday when you're listening to this, if you want to make someone's day, just like especially if it's a podcaster that you love, message them on Instagram, reach out to them, because we're over here like doing our thing on our own. You know what I mean? Like we are talking to the mic, you know? And like for me, like I'm envisioning, like I'm talking to you, like you, my girl, like I'm talking to you right now, and we're sitting across from each other at coffee. We're having fun, we're chilling, but like I don't actually like get to hear you until you DM me or you reach out to me on Facebook or whatever in the Facebook group. So like that is the fun of it. So like you guys have fun with these podcasts out here, I feel like most of the podcasts that you listen to, like if you reach out to them, they'll probably reach out to you. Like they'll probably like say hi, like have fun with it. It's just that, we're just people, right? So anyway, if you reach out to me, I'm definitely going to respond. But this person reached out to me and it made me so happy because she was like, "Oh, I've been listening to your podcast every day and all these things." And I'm like, "Oh, my heart." Because I want to get to know you guys so that this show really blesses and impacts you, right? And really helps you because I am on this journey too, right along with you. So let's go, And so that being said, like that's how I know that that's why I continue to iterate the show because I get to know you more. And I look at my analytics and I know that most of you guys listening, you're women or female identifying, and you are primarily singers. Like you are people who want to sing. And so that's why this is the Sing Confidently, Live Creatively show, because there are so many creatives who can listen to this show and listen to some of my interviews with different types of creatives. But I know that primarily you're wanting to sing as your creative outlet, as your creative space, as your creative career. And if you're like me, then you are wanting to be intentional because that's when everything changed for me. When I was able to leave medical school and pursue now, studying music every single week with top professors, at Columbia and like with all these beautiful people that I'm learning to teach and I'm learning from. Like it started with the intention of saying like, I am not going to let this desire to sing slip away. I'm not going to let this gift for performing and for singing and storytelling through music, I'm not going to let that fall by the wayside. Like it's going to I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it energy. I'm going to give it intention. For me, that intention was like, I'm going to figure out how this can be my career. For you, that could be it. It could be a hobby. It could be an outlet. However, the intentionality is so important. And this is like the foundation of everything. Okay. And so that once you make that intention that you want to become a confident singer, you want to start singing, this is how we do it. This is the framework. Okay. Are you guys ready? The first step to building confidence and to starting to sing when you don't feel confident is you need to know your voice. If you've ever come to any of my free workshops, which some of you guys have, that's how I know you. I've seen you at my workshops and master classes that I do for free. You guys don't worry, there's going to be another one coming up soon. At some point when I relaunch the course, once I finish updating it, I'm definitely going to do another workshop so that we can hang out again virtually. But this is the first step that I take you guys through in all my workshops with my students, whether I outline this for them like in voice lessons or not. This is the exact process that I take them through because I've been like in my classes, like I'm reading all this research, like research on voice pedagogy and how to teach music, how do you teach different ages and all these things. And at the end of the day, I always come back to the same framework again and again and again. Every article that I read, every lecture that I go to for voice pedagogy, for studying the voice, it always comes back to this framework still stands. Like this is still the process that I see over and over again that works in my own life. Has been what works. And so it starts with knowing your voice. What does that mean? So there's a mental aspect and there's the physical aspect. So mentally, knowing your voice is like knowing what do you want as a singer? What are your goals as a student, as a singer? Like what is your desire? What is your desire? And being able to come to terms with that, being able to know that about yourself, and then knowing your voice in the sense of like being able to start the journey, at least, of starting to love your voice, loving and appreciating your voice for what it is, for where it is, not giving into comparison. I've done an episode on like the biggest thing that stops like Gen Z and millennial singers, and it's this comparison thing, as opposed to learning to love and appreciate your voice. And that is a part of this first step, knowing your voice. So that's the mental aspect of it. Then on the physical side, knowing the basics of how the voice works, what are the important aspects of singing? I wanted to use the example of the violin before, but then I was like, I don't know anything about the violin, really. So I'm going to use the example of if you're starting to play piano, okay? Now, if you were first starting to play piano and say you're playing like a baby grand or a grand piano, you won't open up the flap to like your music teacher or piano teacher isn't going to like open up the flap necessarily and show you like all the like intricacies of how the strings work and like what's happening here, unless you really want to become like, you want to be building pianos or you want to become a piano tuner. Like you don't necessarily need to know that. And you're not really going to be interested in learning that, but you are going to need to know, where is middle C on the piano? Where is middle C? What's the difference between the black keys on the piano and the white keys? Where's the sustainer pedal? And what does that do? Like, you're going to need to know like some basic aspects of the anatomy of the instrument How do you sit at the piano in a way that is comfortable? How do you lay your wrists? Things like that, right? Or hold your wrists. Like the basic anatomy of the instrument and how to use the instrument, you're going to learn that like when you first learn piano. Same thing with singing. You should learn on a basic level, like how do you get into alignment with your posture? What's helpful for you and your body, like when it comes to singing, your posture, your chest, like should your chest be open? Should it be slouched? Certainly not, right? It should be open. Shoulders should be relaxed, right? How does it, what are your vocal folds, right? Where are they located? Oh, in your larynx. Okay, where's your larynx? Oh, in your throat. Okay, now we know. What's the chest voice versus the head voice? What's the difference between those different registers? Why do we call it that? Because not because that's where your vocal folds are, right? It's not because of that, right? It's because of the resonance. So things like that, those basic aspects of vocal anatomy and vocal technique are things that we should know as singers, right? If you want to become a confident singer, you can learn to sing without knowing, oh, how do you activate and engage your abdomen? How do what are the different aspects of, the ribs and the lungs and the vocal tract and the tongue? What does the tongue have to do with anything? Like you can learn to sing without necessarily knowing those technical aspects. However, if you want to become confident as a singer and like confident in your instrument, knowing some of those aspects on a basic level is going to help you. There's just no doubt about it. It's going to help you because then like, oh, like I know how to recognize when, oh, my tongue is too far back. I need to relax it. Oh, I'm having some jaw tension, because I know some of the basic aspects of my vocal anatomy. Okay. So that's knowing your voice. All right. So now we go to the next step. Practice your voice. What does this mean? This is practice time, right? Being able to figure out a time in your schedule where you can practice. What do you do when you practice, singing? What are the steps to take? I lay this out for my voice students, like from the very first lesson. I ask them like, what are the times in your week and your days that you can practice, and kind of like help them like figure out how they can start practicing. And I lay out for them what warm-ups they're going to do based on what we do in class, what they can work on, etc. How long they can do it for, like working around your own schedule, figuring out the practice time. And I also outline that in my course as well, because it's important. It's important that you know what you're practicing and like when you're practicing. You got to figure that out. And so practice is the next step. And during that time is when you can choose your song. And I have criteria for how to choose, songs for yourself to work on, both in my course and in my private lessons. I kind of help my students go through like choosing the right song for yourself, right? So that's practice. Okay, that's step 2. The third step then is express your voice. So you've gotten to know your voice. You're starting to love your voice. You're starting to know about the anatomy of it. You got the mindset piece and you got the physical basic aspect of it as well. Okay, that's know your voice. Now you've started to practice. Okay, you started to practice on a regular basis. Okay, and you're getting your feet wet. You're getting more and more comfortable with your voice, and maybe you're starting to see a little changes here and there, but you're probably not feeling super, super confident in your voice yet. Maybe you've been going through this process for a couple of weeks. If you take my course, you can finish that in 4 weeks. And by the end of it, you will have gone through all the steps, right? And you would have expressed your voice in some way. You would have put yourself out there in a performance of some kind, right? Which is really cool. However, you might not actually feel confident in your voice when you start to express your voice. And that's okay. That's okay. Express your voice is not the final step. It is one of the steps that actually helps you build confidence in your voice, is putting yourself out there and performing online, sharing a video online, going to an open mic night, going to a karaoke bar, right? Singing for your friend's birthday party, singing happy birthday to your friend on the phone, like just you and them, you and your friend. Singing for a voice coach. That's a way to perform, actually. That's a way to express your voice, and it's just letting someone else, at least one other person, hear you sing, see you perform, see you sing, right? It's connecting with someone through your singing. And that's so important, because that's when you get immediate feedback. You get to see them smiling as they're like excited and having fun with you, singing and dancing along to the song with you, or they're feeling something because it's a sad song, or they're like, you hear them clapping at the end, right? Or you hear them saying, yeah, go girl, like whatever, like hyping you up, right? That's when you get that that boosts your confidence. Of course it does. It boosts your confidence. And so you don't necessarily have to feel confident to express your voice. However, expressing your voice, once you've done, like, you've had some practice time, you've gotten to know your voice a little bit, you've got a little bit of preparation. I'm not throwing you out there to the wolves just yet, right? But you don't need a ton of preparation before you start to put yourself out there. You just need enough to get yourself to take that courageous step of expressing yourself. Then you move on to step 4. Step 4 is improve your voice. This is the process that continues and continues, right? So these 4 steps, it's a framework, but it's also like the foundation is knowing your voice. So it's kind of like, okay, like you build up from there, but it's also like a cycle, because you continue to know your voice. You continue to love your voice. You continue to learn more about your vocal anatomy and how your voice works, right? You also continue to practice. You don't just like perform and then like don't practice anymore. You keep practicing, right? So it's kind of a cycle. But the improve your voice step, the last step in this framework, is a crucial part of you continuing the cycle, because improve your voice is where you get coaching, it's where you get community, and that's where you get you gain the ability to kindly critique yourself. I break this down for my students and in my course as well. How do you kindly critique yourself? You record yourself singing, you listen back to yourself, you listen back to a performance, you listen back to a video that you posted on Instagram, and you notice what you liked, and then you notice what you need to work on, what you would like to change, right? But also getting around other singers. Why are you guys not in community? Come on, you guys. Get around other singers, get into a choir, right? Get into my Facebook group for singers, right? Get somewhere around other singers. Let them hear you sing and give you feedback, right? Get around other singers. And then also coaching, right? Get a coach, like have someone hear you and give you feedback, give you support, even if it's once a month. Like grab a coaching session. Like let someone hear you and give you feedback, even if it's once every few months, like once a quarter, right? Get some sort of coaching, some sort of feedback can be really helpful. Okay. So those are my 4 steps. That's how you want to build confidence as a singer this year. Step 1, get to know your voice. Why did I say this year? This month, you guys, it's a new month. Okay. Don't wait till the end of the year. Do it now. Do it now. It's the end of the quarter. It's the end of the first quarter of the year, you guys. Come on. Let's do this. Okay. So first step is to know your voice. You got to get to know your voice, know more about your voice, start to love and appreciate your voice. And trust me, when you know the anatomy of the voice, it really makes you appreciate how hard your voice works all the time, right? It makes you appreciate your voice, makes you want to take care of your voice even more, okay? So knowing your voice is step 1. Step 2 is to practice your voice, okay? Do you have a practice routine? Do you do it consistently? Slow blink. Questioning. I'm going to pause there. Do you practice? Okay. All righty. Okay. Okay. All right. Then the third step is you got to express your voice. Are you putting yourself out there? Are you posting on Instagram? Are you sharing your voice with your sisters, with your friends, with, putting yourself out there in some way? It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to like go play a sold out stadium. I mean, hey, if you do, send me a ticket. But like, you don't necessarily need to. Like, it can be something so small, okay? But you got to put yourself out there, even if it's just with a coach, right? Even if it's just with an online community. And then the last thing is to improve your voice. Keep improving by continuing to get feedback, right? From a community, from a coach, and also from yourself. Don't be afraid to listen to yourself and give yourself feedback as well. So that is how you become a confident singer. I'm literally telling you what I have done, what I continue to do. I continue this process again and again and again and again. And I want to make sure that you guys know that this is how we do it. This is how we build confidence as singers. And if you don't know how to sing, or you're struggling with how to start singing again because you don't feel confident in yourself, this is how you start. You start with knowing your voice. Then you practice, then you express, then you improve again and again and again. Okay. So I want to make sure that you are doing this. I want to support you in any way that I can. And I would love for you, just like I said, like I love getting your DMs. I would love for you to DM me on Instagram, actually. That is going to be the call to action for today's episode. Come over to Instagram, DM me. I'm at Creatively by Estelle, as you guys probably already know or could guess. on Instagram. I'm at Creatively by Estelle. And I want you to DM me one of these steps that you feel like you need to take action on. So is it knowing your voice? Do you need to learn a little bit more about your vocal anatomy? Do you need to learn a little bit about like how to love your voice more, right? Know your voice. Maybe you need to practice and you don't know where to start with the practice routine. DM me. I need to practice. Express your voice. Is that it? Do you need to put yourself out there a little bit more? DM me. And then lastly, improve your voice. So let me know which of these steps you want to take action on today. I'd love for you to DM me, and just know like I'm going to respond. Okay. So DM me this week. I'm definitely going to respond. Even if you DM me like after this week, I'll probably respond. But I would love for you, whenever you're listening to this, to let me know which of these steps you are going to take action in today, that you really need to take action in today. And if you need any help, I'd be happy to help you in the DMs. But I'm also asking this of you because I want to ask you guys whether you would prefer an Instagram community or a Facebook community. I currently have both, and I've mainly been talking about my Facebook community. But I want to ask you guys, like, which ones, like, where do you usually hang out? Is it Instagram or Facebook communities? Like, which one do you prefer? I would love to know from you guys. You guys are the people, you guys are my people. So DM me and like DM me which of these steps you're gonna do, know, practice, express, or improve. And I will respond. And I'm also gonna ask you whether you prefer Instagram or Facebook communities. So just a heads up, I will definitely be checking my DMs and I can't wait to chat with you guys. I really appreciate you listening and being here. And I love connecting with you. So thank you so, so much for listening every week. It makes my heart so happy to know that you're there. And so make sure I gotta see you guys taking action. Okay. So make sure you DM me so I can hold you accountable which of these steps you're going to take. And I'd love to chat with you over there. You guys already know you can feel free to book a lesson with me if you want to go ahead and take action in that way at creativelybyestelle.com/studio. And I'd be happy to work with you over there. All right. Well, I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to DM me now, and I will talk to you later. Thank you so, so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the Performing Arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so, so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.